What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 things that completely changed the trading game for me. Completely. And I'm pretty sure after this video it will change it for you as well. Alright, make sure you watch towards the end because I got some good stuff for you. But before we start, do me a favor and like and subscribe, leave a comment, show some love, whatever you want to do. I really appreciate it. So let's get into it. So number 1, what is number 1? And this may kind of catch you off guard, but I'm just going to put it out there. Traders are stupid, right? Not in terms of maybe their trading ability, but the people themselves a lot of them are stupid, right? The people you see on Twitter, half the people you see on social media, regardless, or more than half, they're all so stupid. And let me tell you why I say that. When you go on social media, and especially if you're a part of the finance world and social media, you'll see a lot of people arguing, debating, and it becomes this match of who's right? Who's right? Who's better than who? And in reality, most of everybody's in the same position, not profitable in the market, struggling, not consistent, losing all their money, right? And they're arguing because to them, it's a battle of who can be right, who's going to be better than who in this situation. When in reality, the competition is only with yourself, right? So let's label that. That's number 1. You are your only competition, and that's it. That is it. Like, when I used to be that guy who used to not argue with people on social media, but I used to look at it and, I'll agree with somebody and I think somebody is not smart or stupid by, because of their views on maybe a chart or whatever it may be. Please, guys, it's all so stupid. The goal of trading is to make money, not to be right. You may think, well, Isaac, isn't like being right making money? Like, yeah, to a certain extent. Like, you take a good trade, obviously if you're right on that trade you'll make money, but anything outside of that does not matter, because then you start putting a whole bunch of variables, a bunch of outside noise that influences your decisions when it comes to trading. You're thinking about that guy on Twitter, or you're having Twitter beef with this other guy, or you're on Instagram competing with this other dude to see who can make more money, because that's what you see as, who's the better trader. Whoever makes the most money is the better trader, obviously. No, that's not how it works at all. You are your only competition, right? Who cares what anybody else is saying? And if you do care what somebody else is saying, make sure it's coming from a healthy place, right? All right, I'm actually learning from this person. Oh, maybe I don't agree with this person, so I'll just unfollow them, or I'll just mute their account, or I'll just, not look at any of their content or whatever they put out. It's that simple. Because one thing I've noticed as a trader is that you need a very, very simple lifestyle, right? Very, very simple, because, you want to make sure you're in the market and you're not emotional. And if you got a whole bunch of stuff going on social media and you're riled up, or maybe you got an argument with your girl or your husband, or you got a whole bunch of extra stuff going on, it's going to influence the way you operate in the market. And in the market, you need to be solid emotionally, and so you can remain disciplined, because usually if you are emotional, whatever emotion you are expressing, right, that's going to show in the market. Usually when you're mad, you're more aggressive with your trades, right? When you're sad, you're feeling sorry for yourself. Oh my gosh, I'm losing money again. Oh goodness. Oh man, well, everything happens to me, right? And I can only tell you guys this because I've been through it. I'm not speaking on something I haven't experienced before, right? These are 3 things that changed the game for me. Understand that traders are stupid. Most traders are stupid, right? Everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to show everybody up, whatever. My goal, let me speak about me. My goal is to make money in the market consistently, because at the end of the day, I'm not splitting profits with anybody, right? If I'm right about a stock or whatever, it's very easy to go on Twitter and tell everybody how right I am. Oh, I'm so right. You should have listened to me here. You should listen to me there. At the end of the day, none of that matters, right? Are you going to be right again, right? Can you be consistent? If you are consistent, then good for you. Great. Now keep going, right? There is no, there's this competition within the finance community on social media specifically that has everybody more focused on who's better than who rather than their own progress. And as soon as I left that, I just got rid of all that negative energy and I became more focused on what I was doing, I started seeing progress. I started being able to evaluate myself more rather than everybody else, right? What am I doing? How can I get better versus, oh, this guy sucks, this guy sucks, this guy could get better, oh, this guy's way better than me, right? No, I'm my own competition, right? I'm going to stay right here in my lane, which is the Isaac Suffering lane, and I'm going to focus on how I can be a better trader. So what is number two? Number two is pretty much the failure to understand the difference between changing your strategy and adjusting your strategy. See, a lot of times when people first get into the market, you're going to go through a phase where you keep changing strategies, which is okay in the beginning because you're still trying to figure out what you like, how you want to operate in the market, what kind of trader you're going to be. That process takes time, right? It took me a while to really solidify who I was going to be as a trader. But what happens is the people who can't figure it out, they end up strategy hopping, right? And what strategy hopping is as soon as you have a losing trade, you change strategies. You want to use brand new indicators. You want to use brand new EMAs. You're on YouTube trying to look for, different strategies. You're trying to buy a whole bunch of different courses to find, maybe a strategy that works. When in reality, guys, it's less about the strategy and it's almost always about the mental approach, right? How are you approaching your strategy mentally? Because a lot of times you could actually have a pretty decent strategy, but if your mentality is flawed, then the strategy will be flawed. What I mean by adjusting the strategy is once you work on fixing the mental part, because a lot of you have decent strategies. There's so many different ways to make money, right? And for me, I think I have a pretty basic, simple strategy. I'm a price action trader. Everybody knows, or anybody who is interested in technical analysis understands, price action, right? Because it's the basics of the basics. I like a very simple strategy. But even with a simple strategy, if my mentality is messed up, then it won't work. So as I focused on, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to be a price action trader and I'm going to focus solely on price action. And I was like, okay, now that I know I'm just going to focus on price action, the next thing is making sure my approach is correct. Because if my approach is incorrect, then my strategy will be incorrect. So once I focused on the mentality part, the mental approach, being disciplined emotionally, not taking crazy trades, making sure, I'm patient, waiting on a perfect entry, or you're not going to get a perfect entry all the time, but waiting on the best entry possible and then the best exit possible, really being emotionally locked into my strategy. So I didn't have those mishaps that a lot of people, I guess, equate to just a bad strategy. There's a couple of really bad strategies out there. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of times it's not the strategy. It's how you execute it, right? Execution is the hardest part of the market because this directly correlates with your mental approach. And what I mean by adjustments is that, even as you go on, right, you're still sticking with your strategy, whatever that may be. You can adjust the strategy as you go on. But a lot of times people just completely switch and they go to something new. And as soon as you go to something new, it's like you're starting over from scratch because now you have to figure out how this strategy is going to work for you. You got to figure out what adjustments you need to make over time to perfect this strategy. And a lot of people don't even get to the perfection part because as soon as they don't see instant results, they move on to something else. And I like to use basketball as an analogy because I played basketball, in college and high school and all that good stuff. But think about it. Steph Curry or Klay Thompson or any of these great shooters, they weren't always great shooters. You may look at the way they shoot, be like, man, the way they shoot is so pretty. Their form is so pretty. But just because their form looked like that, looks the way it looks doesn't mean it always went in, right? If you look at Steph Curry's form, the way he shot the ball back in 2009 when he first got to the league, you would see that it's very different than what it looks like right now, right? Generally, it's still the same motion. It's not visibly very different, but for those who know basketball, you can see how he's tweaked his form over the years without completely changing the way he shoots the ball. That's the way you have to approach your strategy in the stock market. You shouldn't have to completely wipe, unless it's just garbage. Unless it's just a garbage strategy, which you'll know if it's garbage, as you gain more experience. But a lot of times you have a solid strategy. You don't need to completely change the strategy, but adjust as you go on, right? Adjust as you, make changes. Maybe you need to, change the time frame a little bit, or maybe you need to adjust, the settings on your moving averages. Maybe you need to go from a 5 EMA to a 9 EMA, whatever it is, right? You're adjusting the strategy, but it's still relatively the same exact thing. You're just tweaking it along the way. that helped me a lot because I used to strategy hop and I knew a whole bunch of strategies, but none of them worked for me because I never spent time perfecting any of them. And so when I decided to stick with one, that's when I started to see more consistency because my strategy was consistent. When my mental approach was strong enough to catch up with my strategy in terms of how well I executed, everything kind of fit together as a puzzle piece. Like, think about it. Let's go back to Steph Curry. Steph Curry, he shoots one way in 2009. He's a great shooter, but he isn't the Steph Curry of 2022, but he's a great shooter, in 2009 anyways, right? He sees where he can improve. He improves over time, right? So he fixes the mechanics of his jump shot, but then the other part is the mental part, right? The more you practice, the more you get the reps, the more confident you are. Confidence is what bleeds out into the game. Like when you see Steph Curry be Steph Curry on the court, that's that confidence. It's that mentality he has. Like, you know what? Everything I shoot, I know it's going to go in, right? But he's not reckless either. He's not shooting full court shots, every other shot he takes. He's still looking for high quality shots, even though he can take really difficult shots. But, the work he's put in, he's able to take what some people may consider difficult. He's able to take as if they were normal because he's confident. He put the work in, he put the reps in, he tweaked his form along the way to make it even more perfect, right? And so as he goes on over time, his shot gets more perfect and more perfect and more perfect and more perfect and more perfect over time. And it's like, he's Steph Curry now. Like he's that guy, right? So I approach my strategy the same way. It may not be where I want it to be right now, but let me give it some more time. Let me make sure I'm getting the reps in so I can gain that confidence within my strategy. And then when I put the pieces together, I'm going to be lock solid. And that's where I feel right now. Like right now, I'm more consistent than I've ever been in the market in 2022. And 2022 it's taking a lot of people out the game. So for me to be able to still be consistent in this current climate, it says a lot. I can't wait till the market goes back regular, and I can't imagine how easy it will be compared to what it is right now. So that's number 2. And for number 3, I want you guys to focus on the bigger picture. From now on, I want you to focus on the bigger picture. And what do I mean by that? And I'm not going to ever talk about something I don't have personal experience in, right? So when I mean talk about the bigger picture or think about the bigger picture, I mean don't focus on the destination. And I don't want to sound cliche or just like one of those guys who are talking about whatever, just same old basic stuff, but don't focus on the destination. And I heard other people say this, but I really didn't understand it until I really had to, do a lot of self-reflection. I was so stressed or felt pressured, or I don't know what you want to call it, to just be at the destination, right? Be where I want to be, that multi-million dollar trader, a 10-figure trader, right? I want to be this guy in the Lambo, the Rolls Royces, the all that kind of stuff. But what I had to realize is you got to make sure that you are becoming the person you need to become to receive those things, right? Because everything in the market is mental, right? If you want to be able to receive those things, if you want to have those $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 days, which is possible. I've seen people do it. If you want days like that, who do you need to become to get that stuff, right? How disciplined do you think you right now, with the discipline you have, do you think you will be able to get those kind of days, right? With the work ethic you have, do you think you work hard enough to one day, or do you think you work hard enough right now to be able to get those things right now, right? Who does, Isaac Suffer need to be able to advance and get those things, right? And what I mean by don't focus on the destination anymore, focus on the journey, step by step, week by week. One thing I started doing is I started valuing my weekly profits, right? I want to see how good am I doing on a week by week basis, not a day by day basis, because if you do a day by day basis in the market, it's really easy to be down on yourself. You could have 2 bad days in a row, 2 red days in a row, and be down on yourself, but you can still be up for the week, right? So I started doing things on a week by week basis. How can Isaac Suffer and improve this week, right? Last week I had a $9,000 week. What am I going to do this week? Am I aiming for $9,000? No, I'm just making sure I take great trades because I want to express consistency. Because I know if I'm consistent and I go on my journey on, I get 1% better every single day. I get 5% better a week, right? Just as a person, as a trader, discipline, work ethic, emotional, discipline, physical discipline, everything, right? If I continue on my streak of consistency and discipline, imagine where I will be 5 years from now, right? Right now I'm 22. My last video on TikTok, everybody was saying I'm 35. I look 35, but I'm 22, and I'm not thinking about the things I am no longer thinking about the things I will have, or I want to have by the time I'm 25 or 30. I'm focusing on how can I take a step in that direction now, right? So like I said, I had a $9,000 week in the market last week. Right now, this week I'm up about $2,000. But now I'm not focusing on the number. I'm focusing on, okay, let me just take another really good trade, right? Let me make sure I'm up early in the morning to be, to stay disciplined. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day, get to the office around 5:30, 5:45, and really lock in for the market day, right? Let me focus on, making content for you guys, right? Being consistent with everything. I'm focusing on the journey and no longer focusing on the destination, because I want to become the person I need to become to get those things. And if I only focus on, that end goal instead of focusing on how can I get there, then I'm doing it all wrong. Like, no one ever goes from $100 to $1 million overnight, but they usually go from 100 to 125 to 150 to 250 to 300, couple thousand. Keep building. And throughout the losses, you learn the lessons to become who you need to become in the future, right? Because those lessons only build you. And then eventually you'll get to that $1 million. But don't try to skip steps. Don't become so stressed out over what everybody else is doing on social media, because a lot of times that stuff is fake. I know people who have trading groups who literally advertise. They don't even post their profits. You think they're doing so well in the market, but you don't even know what they're doing because they don't even post about it. They don't post about the wins. They don't post about the losses. You don't know what they're doing, right? So, don't be out here comparing yourself to other people. Literally focus on your journey. Do what you got to do. Adjust where you need to adjust, and then keep making adjustments until you reach the point where, nobody can touch you. Nobody can take it away from you. Because literally the beauty about the market is that once you get to a certain point, you are no longer controlled by anything except for yourself. Like, you are your own boss, literally. Once you learn the skill, you can't unlearn it. Once you know how to trade, you don't just randomly not know how to trade anymore, right? Really lock in, focus on the journey. Eventually you'll get to the destination. And probably, I guess, just my guess, by the time I actually get to my destination, the things that I want now, maybe I'll have it then. I think I'll have it by then, but I think by then my bigger picture will be so much bigger than what I think it's going to look like right now. All right, so that's all I got. Hopefully you guys took something from that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you want, get free limited access to my Discord, the Blueprint Trading Group. If you would like free limited access, so definitely check that out. And I will see you guys in the next video.